Good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a live in and just chit-chatting. So if you're bored and you want to listen and or watch, well, you're, I guess, in for, I won't say entertainment, but hopefully some interesting conversation. I don't know. Oh, got myself a glass of blackberry Merlot, which is quite delicious. So, just getting the feel right now. Forgive me if I'm really sniffly tonight. My allergies have been killing me. I've been kind of going insane with those. Hello to Lara, Disaster Nation, Shayna, and Olivia. It's good to see you guys. Wow, 8 people are watching right now. It's been a while since I've had that many people tuned in at once, so that's really nice. That makes me happy. Um, so to give you an update, um, I well. I've been in pretty good spirits the last few days. The beginning of the week was a little bit rough, but I'm managing. If you follow me on Facebook, you probably saw all of that business. Or I guess if you saw the last video, you probably saw that business as well. I wish I could get my lighting to not be too obnoxious. That would be nice. All right, that works, I suppose. Um, but yeah, the weekend was pretty rough, and I did a video. My last video was about that, and obviously I'm feeling much better since I was then, and I really do appreciate the encouraging comments that you guys were giving me. It really meant a lot. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that. I really most immediately wanted to get to talking about the title of this video. Okay. Sean and Razor Gay Candy. Welcome. I love that name, Razor Gay Candy. That is an awesome name. Um, but the reason why I titled the video this is because this has been my latest tangent lately. So I've been on this like huge health kick over the past 2 weeks. I've been walking like 5 to 6 miles a day. I've been going to the gym. I've been changing my diet a bit. Um, and the truth. You'll laugh at what the reason of why I'm doing this. I went to Comic-Con, Michigan Comic-Con, probably the weekend before last, and I had an outfit that I had purchased. It was a Star Trek: The Next Generation uniform, and it was like this close from fitting me. Like it didn't fit me. I should have gotten the size bigger, but I don't know, I had a moment after that where I was like, "You know what? I'm really tired of just not fitting into my clothes." About like a few months ago, I had to buy new dress clothes because I was eating a lot and I was stressed out, and sometimes when that happens, you gain a little bit of weight. And I had a moment like a couple weeks ago where I was like, "You know what? I just need to do it." Like I have been going to the gym all summer. I've been really making some progress. And then I realized that, I really just need to change my diet a bit because really I had a really shitty diet. Because I was always on the run like due to work. I was eating fast food a lot. I drank pop like a freaking banshee. I still love pop. Dr. Pepper and Squirt are my favorite, but I haven't drank pop in like 2 weeks. But since I changed my diet and since I've been walking like 5 miles a day, I've lost like 6 pounds in 2 weeks. And some like a person in my last video, like they just like, "Have you lost weight?" And I'm like, "Actually, yeah, I have lost a little bit of weight." So, um, and I feel a little like it's not that I want to necessarily be thinner, but I want to feel better, if that makes sense. I want a little bit more energy. I want to feel less lethargic. And so far that's been working. I've been having a lot of energy at school, and things have been great. And that like, and I guess another incentive as to why I chose to do that is because at my job, like I'm teaching or doing meetings all day. The most physical activity I get is walking across campus or maybe standing in a classroom. Other than that, I'm sitting in conference rooms or offices and I'm not really getting much physical activity. And that causes a lot of energy problems throughout the day. I find that I'm 10 times more tired because of that. So it's really worked. It's required a lot of discipline on my part. I'm not going to lie, it's been very difficult. But like I've also been using my Samsung Health app on my phone. I've been like keeping track of calories and things like that. We'll see how long that lasts. But I actually kind of love tracking numbers. It's been kind of fun for me. So I feel like if since I've connected fun to it, I've been more motivated to do that type of stuff. So but but yeah, let me look at comments really quick. Hey Drago Vox, it's been a while. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Arby's here also. It's good to see you, my dear. Yes, I do agree, Disaster Nation, that Dr. Pepper is phenomenal. Jalara says that she lost 70 pounds going vegan. Well, I would go vegan, but I love meat, particularly chicken, a lot, and cheese. I would slay me a dragon for cheese. Like, I love cheese. I would traverse Mount Everest via my ass for cheese. If that tells you how much I love cheese, that is how much I love cheese. Um, uh, anyway, but I digress. Let's see. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. Um, but yeah, health wise, like physical health wise, I'm feeling, I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm content. Of course, like mental wise, depression. That's a thing. It comes. It's good. Some days it's not good. Today I had a very good day. Like I feel great today. So that's good. Um, if you guys have been having a rough time lately, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're great. I hope you're doing okay. But oh, another really cool thing, like going back to the Michigan Comic Con. Uh, I met a very important person in my life, and if you were on my Facebook, you probably heard me. You saw me post a picture about this, but I got to meet Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek: The Original Series. She played Lieutenant Uhura in the series and in the '80s movies, and I got a picture with her. she she was such a sweetheart. I was second in line. I was so nervous because I've wanted to meet her since I was a little kid. Because Star Trek's huge to me. And I walk in there and they had her sitting because obviously I would hope they wouldn't expect her to stand that long. I mean, she's over 80 years old. Like that would just be unrealistic. But she was sitting and I walked beside her and she was just looking forward. And I look at her and I'm like, well, hello there. And she looks up at me and she smiles and I tell her, I'm like, "My name is Donny. It's such an honor to meet you. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you continue to do. Star Trek has saved my life and it has changed my life." And she smiled like so big, and she was like, "Wow, that is beautiful. How so?" And she asked me like, "How so? How does Star Trek save my life?" And I just told her, "Well, during difficult times, it kind of helped me kind of look at myself and reevaluate myself, and it helped me to grow socially into my own identity and like as a person as a whole." And she smiled again and she was like, "That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being here." And I at this point I'm almost crying. So like while she did this, like she took my hand and she held my hand with both of her hands and she just sparkled. And it was It was a wonderful experience. I like afterward, I after I got out of my photo op with her, I'm like crying a little bit. I'm just like, oh my god, I just met Nichelle Nichols and she said that. So just wanted to share that with you. That was such a special moment for me. And what's also really exciting, I am meeting Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park in November. In fact, I'm even wearing my Mike Shinoda shirt tonight. So I'm really excited to meet him too. I'm probably gonna bawl my eyes out over that too. So let me look at what you guys are saying. Um, Sean, he says, keep up the good work. I cut the carbs in half. Carbs also are probably one of my biggest weakness because I love bread and pasta, and that's like super duper carb heavy. I've been trying to change my portion sizes a little bit, and that's helped quite a bit. Disaster Nation says, happy to hear that you're doing well. Any tips on overcoming extreme loneliness? I'm lonely to the point of being depressed pretty much every day. I've even got a boyfriend, but I am still lonely. I I keep in mind I'm not a certified professional, but as somebody who suffers with depression, that is like I've been in relationships before and I've been lonely also. And see, and the thing is, sometimes that loneliness isn't coming from a place that means you're actually physically lonely. Sometimes one might be emotionally lonely. Some might be intellectually lonely. Um, what I would do is I would try to surround yourself with people who listen. I would surround yourself with people who don't judge you and your feelings. And I would surround yourself with people who ultimately value your well-being. All right. Now that I know that's easier said than done. And mind you, it's not always a fix, but those have been fixes for me. Sometimes finding good creative outlets might help you be less lonely because sometimes if we get ourselves a little bit lost in whatever we're trying to create, that I don't know, that kind of gives us a sense of fulfillment that might help fill that void a little bit. I mean, the truth is, there is no specific solution. Sometimes you got to create your own solution. Um, I have days where sometimes I don't even have a solution. Like this past weekend, um, when I was really sad because of the guy that I really liked, nothing really could fill that loneliness for me. I felt really hollow, and sometimes that hollowness is really hard to occupy. But um, if you're ever lonely, if you ever need someone to talk to, also, I'm always here. Um, Other subscribers here would be honored to talk to you too. In fact, I wanted to run an idea by you guys because I've been becoming more active in Facebook groups. I've been thinking about using my Facebook fan page and creating a kind of like an interactive discussion group out of it because you can create social groups on Facebook. And I was thinking about just creating like this mental health support group where we all can talk to one another, give ourselves encouragement, things like that. Let me know what you guys think about that idea because I've been really considering that because I would love to talk to you guys even when I'm not doing live streams. Um, Oh, and I mean, if you haven't yet, go like my Facebook page too. I mean, it's just Donny Winter. If you go search that, you'll find it. But anyway, I hope that that answers your question, Disaster Nation. I hope that answers it in some way. Okay. Um, oh, Olivia says that she felt suicidal this week, and I can't afford my student loans. Um, So speaking of student loans, I don't know who your student loans are through. Um, First of all, I'm sorry that you were feeling suicidal. I'm always here for you, honey. I'm always here if you need to talk to somebody, and know that I appreciate you and I value your presence. Okay, but regarding student loans, I would call the people who oversee your student loans because you can get your student loans reduced to an income-based rate. I've actually done that. Actually just had to call tonight and change mine because I have more income now, but, they will be able to help you with that. Shayna says, "I've been emotionally lonely most of my life, and even though I've always known that feeling, I never knew it had a name." Yeah. It's loneliness has many different shades to it. That's what makes it very interesting. Sorry, I'm just reading some comments. You guys are so awesome. Oh, Jalera, you answered that question. Sorry, I didn't read your comment. The question about the student loan stuff. Oh, well, I mean, it looks like you guys are a fan of the whole group idea, so I guess I'll have to find some time to create one. I think that would be really fun. Mm, this wine is so good. If I wasn't watching what I eat, I'd probably have some cheese with it right now. Granted, wine has quite a few calories in it too, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. So, um, going back to talking about my last video. Obviously, um, yes, I was in a very, very low place. And see, the thing is, I did get some comments where people were saying, "Oh, the right person will come along. You have to love yourself." I had some comments like, "Oh, well, you need to develop a thicker hide or a thicker shell." And I appreciate all the feedback. I even appreciate those types of feedback. But the thing is, I've spent years learning to love myself, and I do love myself. Um, if I didn't love myself, I wouldn't be as conversational about my mental health. I wouldn't be as vocal about getting help. I wouldn't be trying to make positive changes in my life if I didn't care about my well-being. Um, and I would say that over time, I have developed a pretty thick shell because this happens to me a lot. Meet a guy, you get to know them. Either make too quick of sexual advances, and I'm like, or that we connect on an emotional level, the other person gets scared and completely severs communication because of that emotional connection. And I think that the last part was um, what happened with this most recent situation, because this person and we talked on the phone like every day for hours. We Skype chatted. We made a lot of communication effort, and something just changed. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if something came up in his life, or maybe he met someone else, um, or if he was just scared. Because I mean, I was stood up like 2 times by him, and I mean, it was just really confusing because he seemed to really want to go on a date, and I was like, well, now in my mind, I'm like, well, if it's that difficult to even schedule going out to have coffee, like I can't imagine how difficult it would be to make time for one another if we were in an actual relationship with that level of unreliability. But maybe this is just a signs that suggests that um, I'm meant for somebody else. And that's totally possible, and I'm totally open to that. Like I get lonely a lot, I do, but I don't lose myself to it like I used to, which is really really nice. I think. Um, I guess like for me, like I do grow weary of platitudes like, "Oh, if you gotta love yourself before you love somebody else." Because I've been told that my whole life. I've told myself that. Um, but having depression and, having continual disappointments, sometimes, like, if in that moment of feeling your lowest, you might think, "Well, like, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I don't know, but maybe I'm not attractive enough or whatever, but I know I am. I know what I'm worth, um, and that's why I continue to press forward. That's why I continue to press forward. So, um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna be talking a little bit more about that. I like I do want to do because I talked in my last video about making a video titled The Epidemic of Gay Isolation or Gay Emotional Isolation. And I really, really want to talk about it because I feel like that is something that goes undiscussed. It's kind of similar to the video response that I made to the whole concept of the epidemic of gay loneliness. I think a lot of our loneliness is caused by our emotional isolation because we're discouraged from emoting because we are spending so much time in closets and coming out and needing to catch up on especially like the physical. We often just rely on that as a type of temporary fix. And whenever there is the prospect of making some sort of emotional connection, like we don't really know how to act. And like there are some gay men who would probably look at me and be like, "Donnie, you're stupid. Like you're thinking too much of this. You need to just grow up. You need to you need to man up." I've had people tell me that before too. I'm just like, I mean, I think it's rather of deep thinking to look at that type of thing. I've had to look at that in myself because I used to freeze up whenever I was emotionally getting close to somebody too. Like I would freeze up, I would be terrified, and um I needed to grow emotionally, I think. I needed to find the power within myself to tell myself, "Donnie, you are worth more than just some quick sexual fix." I mean, it's true. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the physical is great. Believe me, I think it's phenomenal. But at the end of the day, that it sometimes isn't as fulfilling, you know? But I hope I'm making sense. Let's see. Jalara says something that helped me was to send love to my future partner, not knowing who that was. So kind of just like sending energy to someone in the future and like dedicating some optimistic power to that, to the prospect of that. I like that. Um, Disaster Nation says, I have an interesting topic to discuss. I'm 16 and I keep switching back and forth thinking I'm gay and then bi and then gay and then bi. I can't seem to discover myself. Is that a normal thing? Being 16, I think at that age, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty normal thing. Presumably, if you just, I mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you just started exploring your identity, it's very possible that um, you may be one or the other, or you may be bi. I mean, I would do more introspection. I would like think about consciously, like, who are you attracted to? Um, And for all you know, you might be surprised at what you find. Okay. But regardless of what conclusion you come to, you're accepted regardless, especially by me and especially by other people watching this right now. So um, I feel that that contributes to my loneliness. I can only imagine. I mean, granted, when I first came out, I do remember going through a brief period where I I wasn't sure if I was bi or if I was gay. In fact, sometimes I would label myself bi because to me, the way I justified it is that it seemed so more socially acceptable, I guess. And then I eventually just realized, well, I'm actually super gay. But there are some people who legit are bi and discover that at an age like such as yours. So Olivia says, I'm 25 and I still don't know what I am. You are not alone. The thing is, when it comes to knowing yourself, I like to think of I like to think of it as we're always learning, we're always growing, we're always shifting. Like every day I learn something new about myself, whether it be emotional, whether it be how I perceive certain things. I might change how I perceive certain things. Obviously, like my sexual orientation is pretty consistent because I do love men. Um, but But for me, it's always perspective. I love being open to learning. I love looking at other people's or I love looking at things from other people's points of view. And I think that's what we need to do for ourselves too. We need to look at ourselves all the time. We need to introspect as much as we possibly can. And I don't think people should fret over perceiving that they haven't found themselves. Like I feel like at this point in my life, like I would say I know who I am, but I mean I have moments where I'm like, I didn't realize that. I didn't think of things in that perspective. So Angela says she's 90% gay. I'm actually pan. Well, she's always said that she's 90%, 97% gay. Unfortunately, pansexuality is definitely like an identity that gets shunned a lot because people don't understand the meaning of it. I think a lot of it is um, having access to that information or making oneself aware of that information for sure. Dragovax says, I'm kind of afraid of finding someone. I'm afraid of what they would do if they figure out my likes, Godzilla anime, and when I tell them that I'm female to male. Well, um, if somebody doesn't accept you for who you are and doesn't accept your likes, then they're not worthy of you. I've had guys before, I've told them that I love Godzilla, or I've told them that I love Lady Gaga a lot, and they've been like, "Oh, really?" Like they kind of pass me off as being something super geeky. Um, and if a person can't accept your likes, and that means they won't accept the rest of you either. So, and if somebody isn't familiar with your likes, then introduce them to their likes. I cannot begin to tell you how many people have gotten into Gaga or Godzilla. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, Disaster Nation. I think geeks are great too. I think geeks are hot. Like I, mm, I kind of want to find me a geeky guy. I do, probably because I'm one myself. So it's interesting, like the things that like since I've been in high school, I've gone through so many phases where I've been attracted to certain types. Like when I was in high school, like I was attracted to the gothy, emo, punky guys, and I mean I think they're still very attractive, but now like I find myself very attracted to geeky men or intellectuals or guys who are a little bit older than me. I guess you could say because I guess I've only most of my relationships have been guys who been younger than me, which is okay. Like that's fine. But um, Shayna says I'm concerned. Oh, you guys are concerned about Cindy, stream of awareness. Last I heard, she's doing okay. I spoke to her on her birthday back in July, and she seems to be doing great. Um, she's probably off being creative as she usually is. So hopefully we get to see some stuff from her soon. Cindy, if you get to see this, I love you and I miss you. Let's see. Disaster Nation, my type is super muscular, masculine, hairy, bearded guys. Those are pretty attractive too. It's really interesting. Like coming back to the conversation of masculinity and femininity, I do like a lot of masculine guys, but I also have situations where I do like feminine guys a lot too. I guess I mean really it probably depends on the individual for me. I mean if you look at my dating history, you'll see a lot of diversity. So, and I don't know, I kind of like that. My nose is like running. I'm sorry. I should have like Kleenex or something, but instead I insist on being a sow and just wiping my face. Let's see. You guys are funny. Oh, Disaster Nation says, I'd feel bad being in a relationship with a masculine guy because I'm chubby and not masculine. Well, you know what? You are perfectly awesome just the way you are, my friend. And like, I am not thin myself. I'm not super masculine myself. I would consider myself in between. I have moments where I'm feminine, and then I have moments where I'm also masculine. And the truth is, there are going to be a lot of guys out there who are very shallow about that type of thing. But that's whenever I'm confronted with that shallowness, like I used to get really upset and offended over it, and I would just lash out at people. But now I think about those moments and I think of them as educational moments. Those are moments for me to talk to those individuals and introduce them to the fact that there are many different types of people out there. There are many different types of masculine people or feminine people, and they should all be accepted. They should be revered for their own beauty, you know, as individuals. So Jalera's response is hits it right on the head, for sure. Definitely think so. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be on too much longer, but I have a couple more things that I'm going to talk about. So I had a couple people recently ask me about how things are going with the YouTube partnership thing. Obviously, I still have not heard from YouTube. Um, I doubt I'm going to. Every once in a while, I'll get this email from YouTube being like, "Hey, we haven't forgotten about you," or "Hey, take this survey and tell us how it feels to be a YouTuber." And believe me, I'm very blunt in those surveys. I'm hoping that they do something, but um, uh, but the truth is, I really think my motivation right now on YouTube isn't to get more subscribers all the time. It's not to get popular. It's to make a difference. It's to enjoy the community that we've created together. You know, if people choose to share my stuff, if they choose to subscribe to my channel, if they choose to retweet, to share on Facebook or Tumblr my things, or even Instagram, I appreciate it. All the support does help. Um, if you have friends who you think would benefit from these types of videos, feel free to send them my way. I actually just had a person the other day who was like, Donnie, I like my one friend is going through a hard time, and I sent him to watch some of your videos, like your bullying videos and your depression videos, and I was like, "Thank you, that's so sweet. Like that really means a lot to me." Um, that gives me more fulfillment than being popular, I guess, because I always, and I've said this before, I always have people saying, "Donnie, I'm surprised your channel isn't bigger than it is, because you've been doing this for like 7 years, and you make interesting things." And you know the truth is, as long as I am able to help one person, that means the world to me. As long as I can do that, and whoops, um, but that yeah, that's I would like to say that that's the gist of what I wanted to say with that. Um, and I honestly, I couldn't ask for better people that follow me. I really appreciate all your guys' support. I appreciate you taking 30 to 40 minutes out of your days to listen to me live stream, to just talk. So it means a lot to me. Um, But I'm probably gonna wrap things up and get going here. I have to work on some schoolwork, but I just wanted you to know that I love you guys and I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you ever need anything, I'm just a message away. All right. Um, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Go check out my Facebook like page. I'll post links down in the description section because I will be putting together that support group. Okay. So anyway, you guys have a good night. I love you, and there will be another video this weekend. So keep your keep your eyes open for that. All right. Have a good night.